Hi guys, today I thought I'd give you a bit of a tackle talk on the Kamikaze range of lures that we produce. So as you know, we do produce the 3/8 ounce blades, but just to give you another quick rundown what we have in stock. So we do 5 colors in the range. So starting off with Assassin Black, it's normally a black lure with red fleck through it. Moving on, we've got the Joker. It's a bit of a blue purple shimmer to the lure, like a Wakasagi color almost. We then do a Beetlejuice, which is a watermelon, green, black, red fleck style of lure. And we do Assassin White, and then we do Ninja Green. So we do 5 colors in the range, produce really well on the impoundments for yellow belly and bass, and generally in the cooler months of the year is when their time is to shine. But very versatile lure that you can work vertical in the water column, or casting out, hopping, or burning across out from the edges. So really popular lure for everyone these days. We also do the spinnerbaits as well. So as you know, we do the standard style, we do donked up version, we do a 1 ounce in the bass as well, and we do the cod series. So most of you know what the standard spinnerbaits look like. However, donked up version is something that not many of you have probably experienced or tried before in the past. So what that is a lure that, or a spinnerbait that we have tested many years ago when we were out at Waruma. I was fishing with a mate, Josh, at the time. We were there for 3 or 4 days. We caught over 100 fish on these spinnerbaits. And what happened was we're fishing the standard to begin with, or standard style spinnerbait. I decided to upgrade one of the blades on the spinnerbaits that we're fishing to a lot bigger profile, such as, I think it was a 65mm willow leaf blade at the time. And I started casting that around on the edges. So straight away, that highlighted the difference, or the better quality fish that we were able to catch using the bigger profile lure. So it was a bit of a no-brainer to introduce that into the range. And I think the deal breaker for us was that I caught a 53cm fork length bass out of Waruma there. It was about over 3 kilo, and I called it a donk at the time, so hence the name, donked up on the spinnerbait. So it's a beefier spinnerbait, it's a bigger blade on the spinnerbait, and it seems to attract the bigger fish at the end of the day. So if you're interested in trying out the donked up version of our spinnerbaits, as you can see, they're a much bigger blade versus your standard willow leaf blade that you'd normally see, or Colorado blade. So we also do them in a 52mm Colorado blade as well. So I guess if I talk about the differences in the willow leaf and the Colorado blade for us and what that looks like out on the water, I generally like to use the willow leaf blade, or the bigger willow leaf blade, when we're fishing edges that are lined with weed or timber. So that allows me to fish a little bit quicker through those areas, and that's predominantly the way I like to fish when using spinnerbaits, cover a bit more ground. But the willow leaf blade will pull through the weed and the timber a lot easier than what a Colorado blade would. It also offers a lot more of a subtle vibration in the water. So if I was recommending any lure to go fishing edges with in our impoundments, it would be the donked up version with the willow leaf blade if you're fishing edges. However, on the flip side, if you're going to fish a dam such as Somerset Dam, or been doing where fish tend to school up a lot more out in the open water or in the deep, I will switch it to a Colorado in the 52mm length. So that would be in the donked up version as well, and that allows me to fish a lot slower out in the open water. It allows me to have a better vibration in the water, and it allows me to keep the lure in the strike zone for a little bit longer when I'm really slowing down my retrieve rate to kind of trigger those fish that like to sulk on the bottom. So donked up version comes into its own when fishing in impoundments, and that's my go-to lure when fishing any impoundment these days, whether it be anywhere from Queensland down New South Wales. So donked up's the way to go, and that's my recommendation in the range if you're fishing for those bigger fish. However, we also do a 1 ounce spinnerbait in our range too. So that's designed specifically for the bass. It's still a 1/0 hook, however it's a 1 ounce weight. So I specifically use that lure when fishing lakes such as Somerset as well. So the reason being, I always struggle to find a lure that stayed down deep without having to long line or deep crank the flats. So I decided to beef up the spinnerbait weight as well for the bass. So I run a 1 ounce in the spinnerbaits. Again, that allows me to sink the lure out in open water quicker, down to the bottom, gives me the best chance at those sulking fish, or those fish that like to hug the bottom during times of the year. It also allows me to slow down my retrieve rate and keep it in the strike zone for as long as possible to trigger those fish, and it's always worked well for me too. Now, my spinnerbaits don't come with stinger hooks, but I highly recommend you putting stinger hooks onto your spinnerbaits. When they don't have a stinger hook on their spinnerbait is outrageous. So can't stress enough the importance of running a stinger on any of your spinnerbaits when fishing. We also do the cod range as well, or the cod series. So again, same size in weight spinnerbaits. We've got the 1/2 ounce, 5/8, and 1 ounce. If you really like to fish a 1 ounce for them, maybe in places like Copeton might come into its own, but generally if you're fishing the rivers, 1/2 ounce or 5/8 is really the key weight there. As you can see, we just standard run the Colorados of them. It allows you to work the lure a lot slower through the system and for those fish. So if you're interested in any of the lures that we have, as you know, we've got the blades and we've got the spinnerbaits, standard, donked up, 1 ounce cod series, and we also do some jigs as well. So if you want to know anything more or like to grab one of our lures, try them out, give me a call, drop me a message. I'm more than happy to help out with your fishing, and we'll see you down the water. Cheers.